All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Got a lot of Zoom people in here, but we'll make do. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna be changing things up. I'm gonna teach the science portion today. So keep that in mind. I've kind of gotten a little rusty on that area, but we'll be fine. So what we're gonna do today is, I think 2 weeks ago, when I was running back and forth between the rooms, you guys took a practice test, and that was on page 808. So we're gonna go flip back to that test, and we're gonna look at if you guys have any questions. And I believe that day you were supposed to grade it on your own. Did we do that? Do you want to go through the answers again, or do you guys think we're good? Good? Okay. I'll let you get to that page.
Do you have a pencil I can use?
I do. Yeah.
Completely forgot mine.
That's fine. It's mechanical. That's fine. Alright, so 808. Okay. And then I think the bubble sheet, if you have that pulled up. If not, I think it's on page. It was on a page I tore out, so around 766. It might be after that. Okay, so just looking at if you guys circled the ones you missed or anything along those lines, do you guys see any that you are questioning why the answer's the one that it is? I can give you a second to look at the ones you missed and see if you can figure it out. You guys seen any that you have a question on? If not, what we can do is we can go through and see who all missed which ones and go over the ones that more people missed. Should we do that? Does that sound better? Okay. So, and you guys have all of your answers and everything, right? Hold up. Okay, so just online people, raise your hand or do the thumbs up if you missed the question that we're on. Okay, so how many missed number 1? Okay, number 2? Okay, number 3? Okay, number 4? Okay, number 5. Okay, number 6. Okay, number 7. Okay, number 8. All right, number 9. Okay, 10. All right, 11. Okay, 12. 13. 14? All right, 15? Okay. 16? All right, 17? Okay. 18? All right, 19? And 20. All right, so just looking at those first 20, the ones that were the most missed look like, I see number 8 had 3 people, 9 had 4, 14 had 3, 15 had 5, so we'll definitely go over that one, and 9. And then 20 had 3. So it looks like a lot of them weren't a ton of missed, which is good. That shows that there's not a overall problem, but we'll address for sure 15 and 9, and then we'll see how these next 20 go. We can always go over the ones that 3 people missed also. All right, how many missed 21? Okay, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40. Okay, so out of those 20, 4 people missed 28, 4 people missed 33, 5 people missed 39, and then four people missed number 40. So we're going to go through the ones that have 4 misses and the ones that have 5 misses. Okay, so go back to 808. Actually, question 9 is on 810. Okay, so looking at question 9, everyone's there. Okay, so it's one of the except ones, so that's something you want to keep in mind. That's why they put it in all caps. It says all of the following are mentioned as characteristics of radon that contribute to the importance of continual in-home testing, except those 4. So there's 4 people that missed it. What answer had you guys put?
I put C.
Okay. B. Okay. Okay, so it was probably in between those 2. So just looking at these, this will give me the spot where it says it. Okay. Okay, so the passage mentions the fact that radon is both colorless and odorless and produces no short-term symptoms, and that radon levels can vary from day to day. So let's look through that passage to see where they include all of that. Does anyone see where it says the colorless and odorless part?
Third paragraph.
Yep, third paragraph, second sentence. So we know it's not A. What about no short-term symptoms?
It's almost at the end of paragraph 3.
Yep. It's the second to last sentence in that same paragraph. So it can't be B. And then varies from day to day. So it doesn't say the words varies from day to day exactly in those words, but in that next, or in the sentence above that, it says changing from one area to the next and from one day to the next. So it's implying that it varies from day to day, but it's not going to say those exact words. Does that make sense? So again, just refer back to the passage to do process of elimination, and you should be able to narrow it down to that. Any follow-up questions on that one? Okay, so that was number 9. And I lost my page. Okay. The next one that was missed was 15, and that had 5 misses, which is the next passage. So passage 3. 15 says, studies have shown that a certain species of deer will only eat a specific type of plant found in the deer's natural habitat and nothing else. Is this finding supported by the information in the passage? All right, so the 5 people that missed that, what answer choice had you put?
I had put A for 15.
Okay. Is that what everyone else had?
I got it right, but can I say why
Yeah.
I chose that? Well, after going back to the passage, I was gonna say no at first because my answer was originally erased.
Mm-hmm.
But then I looked back at I forgot where it says it, but it says something about that the herbivores can be particular about what they eat, so it could be true that they
Okay.
only eat.
Okay, so she was explaining that she initially had no as her answer, but she changed it because she read that it says that some herbivores can be particular about what foods they do eat, so then she changed it. So I'm gonna see if I can find exactly where it says that. Okay, so it says it's referencing table 1.
I was gonna say, oh yeah, it was in the table.
Mm-hmm. It says herbivore, and then the characteristics are that it eats plants only, but it can also be selective in the plants that it eats. So that's inferencing that it can be kind of particular, like it said. Okay, does that answer the question that everyone had? Or does it need more explanation? Okay, sounds good. All right, the next one that was missed more was 28, which let's see is gonna be in passage 6, I think. Yep. Okay, so 28 says, based on the results of experiment 2, which soil type yielded the most overall growth after 28 days? Okay, so we're gonna look at experiment 2. So it says the results of experiment 2 are shown in table 3, so that's where we're gonna be looking. And we're trying to see which one had the most overall growth after 28 days. So look at 28 days. And we're not looking at the average number of leaves, we're looking at the average plant height. So, let me see. So which one has the highest number?
Potting soil.
Yep, and that's your correct answer. Any questions on that one? Those who missed that one, what answer had you guys put? Was it possible maybe you guys were looking at the wrong tables? Maybe?
I just read too fast.
Yeah. That's the hard thing with science. The nice thing is you can always reference back to the tables or to the paragraph or the passage, and it'll tell you pretty much straightforward almost what the answer is. Hard part is you don't always have time to go do that, so you kind of have to, that's where that time management comes in. The next one is 33. Somebody who missed that, what answer had you put?
I put C.
Okay,
C also.
C. Okay. Okay. So it was between B, C, and D. The correct answer is B. So let's see. I just lost the question. All right. It says, according to the results of experiment 1, what percentage of compost yielded the highest average number of leaves? Okay. So experiment 1. Okay. So the soil compost mixtures for each pot are shown in table 1. Okay, so we're trying to see which one yielded the most leaves. So we're going to be looking at table 2.
Oh, I see why I got it confused. Is this, there's like percentages at the slash. I didn't know one of them was soil and one of them was compost.
Right.
That's what confused me.
Okay, so she said it confused her because up at the top, where it says the percentage of soil / percentage of compost, she didn't realize that that was referencing to that. So the correct answer should be B, 75%. Because number 1, if you go to table 2, has the average number of leaves is the highest, which is with 8. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Last two are 39 and 40. So those will be on the last passage. Okay. Okay, so 39 says, according to figure 1, during the summer, as the depth of the lake increases, the temperature of the water does what? So we're going to go back to figure 1. What answer had we put for that one? Those 5 that missed it.
I put A, but the entire passage just kind of confused me.
Right, okay. Did everyone else have A, or did anyone have a different choice? Alright, we'll go with...
I also had
What was that? You had what?
A.
Okay. So it's referencing specifically to figure 1, so I'm going to go back and just look at that one. And we're seeing when the depth of the lake increases, what happens to the temperature. So just looking at the chart, as you go down in the depth of the lake, what is the temperature doing? Decreases. So you can look at the temperatures on the right side. It always goes down, it never goes back up. Does that make sense? Those who missed it, as you go down. Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so that is 39, and then 40. It's the last one. And that says, based on the passage, the stability of thermal stratification depends on all of the following except. Okay. Here's another except one. So process of elimination is more than likely going to be your best tool to use right here. There was 4 that missed this one. What answer had we put?
I put H.
H. Okay. Everyone else have H, or did anyone have different ones? Alright, we'll stick with H then. Okay, so obviously it says based on the passage, so everything we get, we're going to see if it's in the passage. So we're going to find where it talks about the stability of the thermal stratification. Okay, so there's one specific part of the passage that is primarily talking about what it depends on. Does anyone see that part? Yeah, so the last paragraph kind of disregard the last sentence, but it says the stability of the lake stratification depends on several factors, and then it's listing them. So the lake's depth, shape, and size, that can get rid of F. As well as the wind and both the inflow and outflow of lake water. So we've got water inflow, we can get rid of J, and then the amount of wind, we can get rid of H. And the correct answer is G. Does that make sense?
How do we miss such obvious things like that?
It's honestly, it does come down to time management. A lot of the time you're just kind of, I don't know, trying to get it done in the right amount of time, but that is why practicing is going to help you get that time management down, and then it'll give you enough time to see those kind of, not easy, but they do that primarily to trick you. That's why they have the accept questions. But they do nicely, they put them in all caps, so you know that's what you're looking for. But a lot of the times if you see that accept, you're going to be using the process of elimination. Okay, so now that we went through those, yeah, we should have time. What we're going to do is do another practice test, but we're going to take it passage by passage, and then go through any questions you guys might have. So go to the page 681 and tear out that bubble sheet, and then the actual test is on page 723.
This
Yeah.
pencil's out of lead, by the way.
Is it? Okay, use this pen.
Oh, no, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't want to steal all your pencils.
No, you're good. I think I have another one I can grab. Alright, while you do that, how many questions are on the ACT Science?
40.
Yep, there's 40 questions. How long do you have to do it?
35 minutes?
Yep. Perfect. Now, it can vary how many passages are in there, but what numbers is it mostly between?
6 or 7?
Yep, so there's gonna be 6 or 7 passages. The one that you guys are doing has 7. So that gives you how many minutes to do each passage roughly? 7 passages, 35 minutes. Or 40 minutes, I mean. Just guesstimate. A little more than 5, right?
Yeah.
So I'll give you roughly, let's see what this would look like if I did 5. Yeah, well, we're gonna do 6 minutes. Yeah, roughly, and then the last one we can catch up if we need to. And we might not make it through all 7 just because time purposes, but we're gonna get through as many as we can. But I'm gonna give you 6 minutes, and then we'll see if that's way too much time. We can always drop it down. Okay. Is everyone on page 723? Okay, so I'll give you 6 minutes, and then I'll give you a minute warning when it's at 5. Sound good? All right, you guys are good to begin. Here's a pencil.
Thank you.
1 minute left. All right, time's up. How many got through that passage? Okay. All right. So, those of you who did not get through the passage, how many questions do you have left? One.
I have 2.
I had 1.
Okay. All right. So we're still gonna have to drop down the time just so we get it done a little bit, but just keep that in mind if you did not make time, that you might have to speed it up just for these next couple passages. We'll keep it 6 minutes for this next one, and we'll see how you guys do. If people still aren't finishing, then we can keep it at 6 and just get done as many passages as we can. But what I'm going to do now is I'll read the answers to the first 7, and then we will, just so it's easier to tally at the end. Okay? So, is everyone ready to check? All right. Number 1 is D. Number 2 is G. Number 3 is B. Number 4 is J. Number 5 is B. Number 6 is F. And 7 is A. Anybody get all 7 right? Okay. So passage 2, like I said, we're gonna do 6 minutes again. But just keep in mind, if you did not finish, that you might have to keep that time management in mind. All right. Again, I'll give you a warning at 5 minutes. No repeats or anything. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and begin. All right, you've got 1 minute left. All right, time's up. How many people got that passage done? Good. All right, looks like everybody got that one done in time, so that's good. Before I read the answers, I did the math. Some of them we're gonna drop down to 5 minutes and 30 seconds just because they only have 5-ish questions in them. So that way it equals 40 minutes exactly, so that should be good, and then we'll see, depending on what time we have left, if we can get to that last passage. So I just have that up there for your reference. Okay, so answers for this next passage. 8 is F, 9 is C, 10 is G, 11 is D, 12 is H, and 13 is B. Any need repeated? Okay, did anyone get all those ones right? Wow, good. Okay, perfect. So this one we're gonna do 5 minutes and 30 seconds. I'll give you a warning at 4 minutes and 30 seconds. And yeah, like I said, there's only 5 questions, so just keep that in mind while you are taking it. Any questions before we start? All right, you've got 5 minutes and 30 seconds, and you can go. you've got 1 minute. Oh, just kidding. 2 minutes. Now you have 1 minute. All right, time is up. How many people got done with that one? Good. Yeah, that one seemed a little bit more straightforward than the past couple of them. All right, so going over those answers. 14 is H, 15 is C, 16 is F, 17 is B, and 18 is G. Anybody get all those ones right? Good. Wow. All right. Good, good. We're going to do the next passage 4. There is 6 questions, but there's not a lot of stuff to read. There's 2 tables, so we're going to keep it at 5:30, see how that goes. And yes, I'll give you a warning, minute warning at the right minute this time. If you guys don't have any questions, then you guys are good to go. All right, you've got 1 minute. All right, time is up. How many people got that one done? Okay. Almost everybody. People who did not finish, how many questions did we have left?
And
One? All right. I'll give you a second to try and finish that up before we read off the answers. All right, let's go through these 6 question or answers. Number 19 is C. Number 20 is J. Number 21 is C. 22 is J. 23 is B. And 24 is F. Any need repeated in that section? All right, did anyone get all of those correct? Okay, good. What I'm gonna have you do now, we're not gonna do another section. What I'm gonna have you do is go through the ones you missed and see if you can figure out what the correct answer was, and if not, we can talk through it as a group.
can you repeat what the right answers were for the one we just did?
Yep. Okay, so 19 is C, 20 is J, 21 is C, 22 is J, 23 is B, and 24 is F.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. If you find one that you need explained, just say it out and we can go over them. Mm-hmm.
I have a question for number 24. How did you know it's not a high nutritional value? 'Cause, in experiment 2 it talks about fruits and vegetables.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So let me flip. You said 23.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Did anyone else miss number 23? When I have, this is still the book I took, or I had when I took the class, and I also missed 23. So just looking at that one, when you go back and you see the difference between group 3 and group 4, group 3 was fed a grain-based feed without supplements, and then group 4 was fed, same thing, grain-based feed without supplements, plus fruit and vegetables. So the only difference that they had was those fruit and vegetables.
Mhm.
So, alright, the only thing that's different is what's gonna be differentiating their answers or their growth, I guess. So we assume that it's B because if you look at like A, the control group is not changing, would not affect those either way.
Okay.
C, neither group received high enough protein. That would be why they're similar, but they aren't they're not getting the exact same feed. So because one of them has fruits and vegetables, that's why they can hypothesize that that's what's making them similar, because obviously if they had the same feed, they would be exactly the same, but they're trying to find out, well, we gave them two different things, why are they still close? So if we're giving them fruits and vegetables, they obviously didn't have so much nutritional value, because if it did, they would have been a big difference, right?
Mhm.
So they can hypothesize that they didn't have very much nutrition.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay. Any others you guys have questions on? It can be from any of the sections also. Anybody online have any questions?
Can you repeat what number 11's answer was?
11 was D. So we went through, I think, 24 questions. Did anyone get more than 20 right overall? Good. All right, no additional questions? None that you guys see and you don't know why the answer is?
Well, like, one thing is like, if you, on the, like, guinea pig question, whatever,
Mhm.
it's just, like, you're getting, like, I don't know, it's almost, like, overwhelming with all of, like, the information you have to look at, and just, like,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense, like, looking, like, if there was, like, another group, what place would it
Mhm.
be? So I'm just, like, if you just,
That one?
it's a lot of information you have to look at.
Yeah. Are you talking like specifically kind of towards number 21 where they ask
Yeah,
about group
21.
9? Yeah, I did this as you guys were going. In that one, I used process of elimination, because if you look, so group 9 is saying that it would be the exact same feed as V, which was the most successful one, but they were going to add in vitamin supplements. So vitamins obviously are going to help you grow more. So we can assume that it's obviously not going to weigh less than V if it's having added vitamins. And it's not going to weigh less than...
I got that one right by looking at, I just looked back at which groups did have vitamins in it, and I looked at what it did to them, and both
Yeah.
of them, you could see that they were longer than any of the other
Yes.
ones, so I knew it
Yep.
must have been length and not weight.
Yes. And like she said, it affected the length more than it affected the weight. But either way, it's not going to make them weigh less than the group that that it was initially in. Same with D. It's not going to make the length shorter, because like she said, if you go back to the ones that did have vitamins in them, it made them longer, not shorter. Does that make sense? But I do get what you're saying. There's so much to look at when you first flip to the page. That's why I kind of try and keep it organized as you go through it, but it takes practice and everything like that. Yeah.
Okay, so like in like passage 1, do you have like any tips? Because like when it's like paragraphs like that in the science section, I seem to like struggle with that part
Yes.
versus like all the other ones.
Mm-hmm. So, like I said, you only have 5 to 6 minutes to do each passage. You're not gonna have time to read that whole thing.
Yeah.
So I would skim it, get the overall idea of it, and then go to the questions.
Okay.
A lot of the time they're asking about specific, like, main viewpoints and things like that, so then you can go back, reference the passage, and answer the questions. But unless you're a very quick reader, you're going to have a difficult time trying to read it all at once. But definitely skim it before you look at the questions. But again, it all just kind of takes practice to see how much of it you can skim before you need to go to the questions.
Okay.
It's a good question. Anything else before we go on our break?
I can't figure out number 9.
Number 9.
Yeah. I just didn't understand that one.
Okay, so based on the information provided, during which stage of growth will the application of, I'm not even going to try and pronounce it, will be least effective? Okay, so,
If you flip your page, it says right in the bottom paragraph, it should not be
applied during the growth.
implied during the growth stage.
Okay. So
Perfect.
that's why I missed
Yep.
it, is because it doesn't mention it literally anywhere else.
Right. All right. Does that help?
Mhm.
Perfect. All right. Then we are going to go on our 5-minute break.